Right, this one's density. Now, there's in each of the sets below, two of mass, density, and volume are provided. So we've got to know the formula of how to work out the third if we know what the other two are. Now, sometimes you'll get lucky if you can't remember the formula by looking down at a density there. So that's the mass, and this one, the weight, yeah, and this one's the density. And you see here, 1,000 kilograms meter cubed. This means that the density is equal to the mass divided by volume. You see how it's got mass divided by volume? So density is mass divided by volume. And we can do one of those little triangle thingies now that we've worked out what the formula is. So the density is the mass divided by volume. The volume is the mass divided by the density, and the mass is the density times the volume. So we should be okay now. So here we've got mass and volume. So we need to find the density. So the density equals the mass divided by the volume, which is 1 divided by 1, which equals 1 gram per centimeter cubed. Right, so here we've got the density and here we've got the volume. So we need to find the mass. So the mass is equal to the density times the volume, which is 1 times 1, which equals 1 watt gram. Right, here we've got the mass and the density. We need to find the volume. So the volume, I'm looking at this triangle, equals the mass divided by the density, which the mass is 1, the density is 1, which equals 1 centimeter cubed, because it's the volume. Okay, now we've got kilograms. So we've got the mass, we've got the density, we need the volume. The volume is the mass divided by the density, which equals 1,000 kilograms. Yeah, the volume is the mass divided by the density. Yeah, 1,000, which equals 0.001 volume meters cubed. Okay, we've got the density, we've got the volume. So we need to find the mass is equal to the density times the volume, which is 750. What are we finding? The mass, aren't we? 750, everything's in grams. So this one, we've got the mass, we've got the volume. So we need to find the density equals the mass, which is 8300, divided by the volume. So 8300 divided by 16600 is a half, which equals 0.5 grams per centimeter cubed. Okay, tricky. MDV. Oh, some more. We've got the mass. There's that MDV. I'm going to do this triangle all the time because I don't want to forget it. Yeah. So we've got the mass and we've got the density. So we need to find the volume equals the mass 5040 divided by the density, which is 21. So 5040 divided by 21 is 240. 240 centimeters cubed. Right, we've got the mass, we've got the volume, so we need to find the density equals the mass divided by the volume. 756 divided by 252 is 3 equals 3. Density is grams per centimeter cube. They're going to mix up. I'm sure they're going to mix things up in a minute. Yeah. Once you start mixing units, it gets really complicated. So we've got the mass and we've got the volume. So the density is the mass 0.00125 divided by the volume 1, 2. Well, that's not going to be very much, is it? Yeah. That is the density. That's where I've gone wrong there. That is the density. I was wondering why that was going to be a very small answer. Density, volume, find the mass. The mass equals 0.00125 times all that sort of stuff. 3 or 5. So 0.00125 times 10 100,000, yeah, it's 125. So 125, what we find in the mass, grams. So we've got the mass, we've got the volume, so the density equals the mass, which is 65536 divided by 0.0390625. It's going to be tons, is it? Dense, really dense. Okay, so 65536 divided by 0.003900625. So I've got that is equal to 16777,216. The density is the mass divided by the volume, and this density is in kilograms per meter cubed. Yeah, so we've got to look at what the units are. Whoa, this is hard, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to go back again. The density, the mass, the volume. Laura has different volumes of liquids. If the water weighs 500, what's the density? So density is equal to the mass 500 divided by the volume of water 500, which equals 1 gram per centimeter cube. The oil weighs that. What's the density of the oil? The density of the oil is the mass 625 divided by the volume 500. 625 divided by 500 is 1.25, 1.25, and it's all centimeters, it's all grams. Grams per centimeters cubed. Density of the honey 375 divided by 125, that equals 3 grams per centimeter. The hand soap weighs 300 grams. The density is 300 divided by 250. So 300 divided by 250 is 1.2 grams per centimeter cube. As long as you can remember that, we're all right. There's going to be more, isn't there? There's going to be more. Let's go back, do the triangle so I don't forget. Density, mass, and volume. Make it bigger so we can actually see what we're doing. Right, Emily has three different weights and needs to find their mass. The first weight is iron and has a density of that. It has a volume. So we need to find the mass. Not funny. Right, mass is density 7.9 times the volume, which is 8. So 7.9 times 8 is 63.2 grams. The second weight is made of aluminium and has density. So the mass of the aluminium is the density, which is 2.7, times the volume, which is 6.4. 2.7 times 6.4 is 17.28 mass grams. The third one is lead. The mass of the lead is the density times the volume. So 11.3 times 27 is 305 305.1 grams. Emily finds two other weights. This time it's made of different stones. One is made of sandstone, has a volume. One is made of diorite, which has a density and a volume. Which has the greatest mass? Okay, so we'll do the sandstone first. The mass, remember, is just the density, 2.2 times the volume. So 2.2 times 216 is 475.2 grams, because it's grams there. And the diorite, the mass of that one is 3 times 125, which is 375 grams. Which has the greatest mass? The diorite. Never heard of that before. Density, mass, volume. Right, density, mass, volume. Okay, again. Density, mass, volume. Right, there's all this stuff here, yeah? Find the volumes of A and B. So the volume of A is equal to mass divided by density. The mass of A is 200 divided by 1, which equals 200. What are we doing? Finding the volumes. 200 centimeters cubed. And B is the mass, which is 1320 divided by 1.1. So 1320 divided by 1.1 is 1200 centimeters cubed. David has 2 of C. What's the volume of 2 of C? So the volume of C is the mass divided by the density. So it's 800 divided by 1.6. So 800 divided by 1.6 is 500. 500 centimeters cubed. Multiply that by 2 and we've got 1000 centimeters cubed. Do not convert that. Don't say that's a meter or something. Just leave it as it is because it's cubed. It's more complicated. Which is larger, D or E? So we've got to find the volume of D, which is 10201 divided by 1.01. 10201 divided by 1.01, which equals 10100 centimeters cubed, and E is mass divided by density, which is 10,000 grams divided by 1.25. So 10,000 divided by 1.25, which is 8,000 centimeters cubed. Which is larger? D is larger by, and it's a difference between those, is 2,100 centimeters cubed. It's one take away the other. One take away the other. Right, okay, I'm back to me triangle again. Must not forget density, mass, volume. Right, the following the masses and volumes of some vehicles. Yeah, what's the density of the whatever it is? So the density is the mass divided by the volume. So it's 2,000 divided by 8, which is 250 kilograms per meter cubed. Is the Volvo bus the densest vehicle? We don't know because we're going to have to do the other ones. So the bus is 5,000 divided by 25. So 5,000 divided by 25 is 200 kilograms per meter cube. No, it's not, because that one is denser. No. The Scotia Nova weighs all that and weighs that. Which cars is it denser than? Okay, so the Scotia Nova, the density is going to be the mass divided by that, the volume. So 2,500 divided by 6.25 is 400 kilograms per meter cube. Oh, we've still got to do the Fiat, yeah? So let's have a look at the Fiat, which is 1,200 divided by 4, which is 300 kilograms kg per meter cubed. So the Scotia Nova, or whatever it is 400. Which cars is it denser than? Well, all of them. All of them. So that's 400, and these are smaller numbers. So again, density, mass, volume. It takes some getting used to, this does. Okay, calculate the density of every cube if they all weigh that much. So the density is the mass divided by the volume. So the first one, 13824 divided by 1 equals 1 gram per centimeter cube. The second one is 13824 divided by 8. 13824 divided by 8 is 17. Why did I put that? I cannot divide by 1. That equals 13824 grams per centimeter cubed. And this one is 1728 grams per centimeter cubed. The third one is 13824 divided by 4. 13824 divided by 4 is 3456. 3456 grams per centimeter cubed. And the fourth one, the gold, is 13824 divided by 3. 13824 divided by 3, 4608. 4608 grams per centimeter cubed. So what are we doing? So suppose instead of the lead cube and aluminium cube, where to combine, what is their combined density? The lead cube and aluminium cube, their combined density. So the density of the lead and aluminium is the mass 5130 over the volume. The lead and aluminium together are 9. Yeah, so 5130 divided by 9 is 570 grams per centimeter cubed. I think that's the bottom one. Okay, so density. Tricky. Yeah, got to remember that triangle.